Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 367, our first one of the trials of the trials trials of the Sentinels, and we chose our faction. We chose Sentinels. We know what we're all about here, so we'll get that going. But we haven't seen any of the new champions here. There's no Vigios. There's no Akshans. So we're just going to trudge on forward. It's too tough for me to come in and keep trying to re-roll these champions, and it takes a lot of time to do that when there's a 20-minute blocker between each draft. And so I'm just going to jump in on this Nautilus. I think he is much improved with the 2.11 patch, and so I'm glad to pull him up and talk about him a little bit more. And so we're going to head over to ftpbust.com. It's my expedition site. I keep all the content up to date and moving along here. We're just going to be on the expedition helper, or the front page, if you will. We'll scroll our way down to the drop down box, make our way down to what's your name? Nautilus. Make our way to Nautilus and take a peek at the cards that live in this card pool. I can figure out how the alphabet works. And here we go. So cool. It still looks like a bunch of cards, but I assure you things are slightly different here. They took out a lot of the bad ones. They removed the likes of Bayou Brunch and really just kind of like cleaned up what this card pool was trying to do. And so I think this is now an extremely, extremely good card pool. And we're going to be, of course, looking to draft Sea Monsters. Whenever I talk about Nautilus, I feel like you are forced into Sea Monsters, and then you're not forced into Shadow Isles, but it is ideal. And so the reason I say that is it's just too tough to get deep. Hang on, we got a cat. It's it's too tough to play a champion like Nautilus if you aren't focusing on deep. You're just going to have this expensive do nothing unit in your deck. You never want to be spending 7 mana on a 0 attack unit. And so, if we have Nautilus, then we're drafting Sea Monsters. There's a lot of card pools where I say, hey, go out there and be flexible, see what happens in the second pack. Nautilus isn't one of them. And so, we're going to do whatever we can to be into the Sea Monsters deck. And as far as the cards go, there's a couple of ways that we'll be looking to hit deep. The easy way here is with things like Dreg Dredgers and the Toss cards. We're extremely excited to have the likes of Dreg Dredgers, and then he's typically all you really need here in Expedition. If you can piece together a handful of these, that's great. But you don't want to really go out of your way to stack up these toss cards. Like, you don't want to be playing a bunch of salvages and a bunch of scrap shots just because they say toss. But Dreg Dredgers, you do really want to go out of your way to get. And so if we aren't going out of our way to hit deep with the toss units, then how are we going to do it? That is with card draw. And so we're really looking to play cards like Pool Shark. We'd love to find Fortune Croakers. Just anything that lets us come out here and draw cards, especially in the early game, is our kind of preferred way to hit deep. And so, as for Bilgewater, Pool Shark is the typical way to go. In Shadow Isles, you may find yourself with some like Glimpse Beyonds or what have you, but the two big cards we're definitely looking for here are Dreg Dregger and Pool Shark. Okay, I think my cat's done crawling on me. And so, beyond that, the things that we're looking for in these Nautilus-based decks, we do actually want to load up on Sea Monsters. So, we are going to be out here trying to grab a bunch of Beast Belows and Abyssal Eyes. These are just the cheapest one, and Beast Below, and then Abyssal Eye, the one having Elusive. And so, this is our kind of preferred Sea Monsters to find. We can click on Devourer of the Depths down here in Epic Land. It's kind of tough to have these show up, but we're excited to pick these up as well. Kind of the thing that we run into with Sea Monsters is once you're deep, they're all kind of the same. And so if they're all going to be the same, then we want the cheaper ones compared to the expensive ones. Not a whole lot of difference in having a 7/7 Beast Below and having a 10/8 Shipwreck Hoarder. That's enough stats to run over pretty much anything. And so before we exit this card pool, the kind of last thing to call out, there's no removal in these card pools. You have Scrap Shot, which is removal, but it's not guaranteed and it's expensive. You have a couple things to interact with your opponent's cards, like Hired Gun. You have Ye Been Warned as a way to give something vulnerable, but Bilgewater doesn't have really good removal. There's no Harpoon in this one. There's no Make It Rain. And then, of course, there's nothing along the lines of a Vengeance. And so we tend to have to just like run out here, get our Sea Monsters online as quick as we can, and then just win the game with stats as opposed to being able to play more of a control-y style game with removal spells. And so, okay, how do we want to approach this? So I'm not taking Braum. These are going to just be like two like way competing strategies between trying to draft towards Poros or drafting towards Sea Monsters, and not going to work out. I could see an argument for taking a Zillion with maybe we use predicts as our way to kind of dig up a sea monster or something, but that feels kind of sketchy. So we're just going to take the Kalista pile because she is in Shadow Isles. And so I don't think there's too much in this Afterlife Kalista that's going to be uh, real exciting for us in terms of sea monsters. Kalista, both of her card pools have seen quite a bit of change here in recent days, and so do have to be quite aware that she's not the tier 1 champion that she used to be. I'll get my I'll get my tier list out there as soon as I can with the new updates to it. But as you can see, she's got like a ton of red in here. They added an Absorb Soul, which is garbage. The standard Kalista package of just bad rares rolling through down here. Not quite what we're looking for. And so the big ones that we're looking for out of Shadow Isles are going to be removal spells, which there is Vengeance here. There's Grasp of the Undying here. Um, they took Black Spear out of the Callista pool, and so we're really just looking at the expensive ones. And then I should be able to switch over to Maokai and kind of point out the Shadow Isles cards that we're looking for. And so the Neverglade, the Tears from the Deep pool got nerfed here as well, or changed around, however you want to look at it. The cards we're specifically looking for are these toss ones, so we're going to have Deadbloom Wanderer and Thorny Toad. There are a handful of sea monsters here, the Sea Scarab, which is extremely good. And then that's really just kind of it. There's kind of some removal in Vile Feast as a bit of interaction in Sapling Toss, but all in all, this pool has been slightly neutered as well. This used to be like a 25 card pool, and now it's dropped down quite a bit in size. And so, happy enough to pick up this Kalista here. Okay, so pretty easy take here in the Sea Scarab Hired Gun, just exactly what we're looking for in some early game early game sea monsters, some ways to hit toss, and early game interaction. Then moving over here, these are pretty bad. I think we have to take the Hired Gun, Chum the Waters just for the interactive element. We don't want any Ionia cards. And down here, Double Trouble Pilfered Goods just are not on strategy with what we're trying to do. Okay, cool. We got the Slaughter Docks along with the Beast below. That's a pretty easy take. And our last chance to branch out. We don't have the option, but we would definitely not move into other factions. And this is an awkward one. This one's pretty horrible. I do not like Brash Gambler. I am okay with Sunk Cost. This is kind of a meme on Reddit, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to have a removal spell, and having an 8-cost removal spell is kind of what we're stuck doing in these style of decks if we can't find a Vengeance. But these other cards are just pretty bad. Like, I guess I could see an argument for taking the Razor Scale Hunter, although Bubble Bear is pretty horrible, and then we don't want anything to do with Fresh Offerings Cursed Keeper. And so I think I'm just going to go in on the sunk cost here. Hopefully we get the option to trade away that trade away the Brash Gambler at some point. And let's see. This one's brutal. This is the sunk cost I'd rather have paired up with Pilfered Goods, but we don't get to do that today. So with these, I think since we already have 3 hired guns, I'm not super interested in You've Been Warned. Like, I'm not opposed to taking Jettison in this style of deck, but it's not something I'm particularly excited about. And so I think I'm just going to take the removal spell with the Stalking Shadows down here. Okay, all the hired guns anyone could ever want. With this, I would love to be picking up the Pull Shark, but Warning Shot is abysmally terrible in this style of deck. We're not going to have any plunders. I think I just want the Aristocrat for the early game. We may have some minor combos for the Chronicler. It works with Hired Gun. It gets us a toss with the Scarab. Works with Scribe of the Sorrows, and so we have some plays with this, but it's not exciting by any stretch of the word. Okay here. I mean, we got a toss in the Wanderer along with a removal spell. Very easy take with a lot of garbage down here amongst these other ones. Okay, then not really making any improvements, but Pull Shark is again one of our premier early game plays along with the Glimpse Beyond. Glimpse Beyond is something we're okay to have 1 copy of, so not a bad pickup. And here we do need to just get all the sea monsters we can. We've taken every sea monster we've seen, which is 2. This is one of the problems you can run into with the Nautilus deck and them just not showing up. So we've seen Sea Scarab and we've seen Chum the Waters. We've seen the beast below. I guess the slaughter dogs technically counts, but we have to do everything we can here in taking the Jaw Hunter's Lure of the Depths. Okay, man, these cards today are horrible. I guess Lure of the Depths with Hired Gun, we'll just have to get it done. I'm not taking Brash Gambler, Loaded Dice is garbage. We don't have any real combos with the Skitter or the Prodigy. Ugh. Ugh, what more can we say about these cards? But here, I mean, Sapling Toss interacts, and this is a 3-attack 2-drop. That's as good as we're getting here. We're not doing things with Cursed Keeper, Spirit Leech. We don't have the early game plays to sacrifice to. I would be kind of interested in Petty Officer, but Mystifying Magician is horrible. And so we'll take the least horrible of the bunch here. Okay, so like I'm not opposed to picking up Citrus Couriers. This could be a means to win the game if we have Abyssal Eyes, just close the game out super quick, but not really strong. I think I'm just going to take another Grasp of the Undying. And our last one. Okay, we can get rid of some real turds here. I want to get rid of the Vaults. I think this card is, realistically unplayable, but Mask Mother is not something we can take advantage of. And so I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the Coral Creatures in place of the Brash Gambler as a card that we don't want. And then let's see what we can do in terms of making things premium. So I know as far as Sea Monsters go, we're pretty well covered on most of these. But let's take a peek real quick. Bilgewater, Shadow Isles, Show Unowned. Hey, we're getting the new cards in here, right? The Crawling Viper and the Swarm. But as far as these go, we don't have any of these commons in our deck. Take a peek at the spells. Maybe we'll hit one of these. Got a Glimpse from Beyond. I know we drafted one of those. That looks like it's going to be our upgrade for the day. And so, welcome to the party, Glimpse Beyond. I'm surprised you haven't gotten the upgrade by this point, but certainly got it now. Make you ready to go. Right, now off we go. So we'll see. You typically want to have at least like some Abyssal Eyes and some Sea Monsters. We did what we could do. But, hey, it's the new guy, Akshan. I have big hopes for this guy. I think he'll be pretty decent. He fills a lot of gaps in the Shurima kit, if you will. He has the quick attack for all the vulnerable cards. He puts landmarks on the board for all the landmark cards. He just does, just a bunch of stuff they need to be done. Right, I think we go ahead and get the open. I mean, it's reasonable to try and get a trade out of the Sea Scarab, but I do slightly worry about him being able to get a quick attack challenge next turn. What he is playing with Jarvan. Tempted to just pass here. I think that's fine. Let's see what happens. And if you're not familiar, he makes the Warlord's Palace. This has countdown. Whenever dude strikes, it gets another countdown. And then whenever you target something with a spell, also gets some of the countdown going. So as far as these go, in Hired Gun, we missed the appropriate hit on these, but I think this is okay. Let's just take the damage off of this guy. And we have reasonable means of interaction for our next turn. Get this guy. Let's go ahead and just get a Jaw Hunters down as well. So if he wants to follow up with a 3/3 or something, then we can get the hook that way. And hopefully we just clear out his board. If he's going to play a combat trick, we'd rather him take down the sapling, right? So let's send the sapling into this guy, send this here, send these over here. And then I don't want to risk the hunters on one of these, since if he has a barrier, it just kind of fixes the problem. Oh, what the heck card that was? The Absolver. One of these. Gotta go and look this one up. Give an ally 2/1. If you have leveled a champion this game, create the Absolver's return. Okay, whatever. I did some real good reading there, in case you all needed some help. Real good at saying words. Screeching Dragon. Okay. Let's just pass. I'm pretty intent on just playing Glimpse Beyond whenever he hooks. Fine? Yeah, I think that's fine. Got a removal spell. Got a Nautilus. Cool. Oh, is that animation new? I don't remember seeing that shit. What? We draw a sea monster. Where's our... Oh, we already lost our beast below? Oh, we... Okay, I know what we did. But we'll hit deep next turn. We'll get him back. Okay. Right, we're about to go right to 15. About to have a bunch of big old dudes. I thought we were going to have the Nautilus mana. Crap. That's okay. Let's spend a bit of mana here. We'll try and take down this Screeching Dragon with our Sea Scarab. Guess that's not happening. So do we want to try and take down Akshan? I don't care about this Relic of Power. It's fine. I mean, it cycles or picks up a charger, gives his units a bonus. It's not a huge issue with what he's presenting here. So probably do want to take this down though. Make sure we're not going to deck ourselves as well. I think we're okay. Right, hopefully he has a reasonably tough time dealing with Nautilus. That would be good. Nautilus plus Sea Monster might be enough to close this down next turn. And the Jarvan. Sure. Let's just prevent as much as we can. Then, I mean, next turn we should realistically, we'll have Nautilus, we'll have Terror of the Tides, we can hook something. Sucks he's getting the Cataclysm off this Jarvan, but it's okay. Turns out our champion's pretty big too. He comes down. We had the one that's going to get shuffled back into our deck. And does Jarvan actually kill any of this stuff? He doesn't kill Terror of the Tide, so I think we're good to throw him down. Ten cards left. I'm trying to think if we want to try and pick up the other sea monster with the Stalking Shadows. So we get to play it for free. So we get to drop 2 this turn. I think he's just deciding if he wants to Cataclysm something. And make him big. Big time Jarvan. That's bad. That is bad. We can at least take down his barrier with our Grasp of the Undying, but losing units here is not good. Ally. Overwhelm. I guess he can do that this turn. And we didn't find the sea monster. Okay. Is he gonna go for the kill onto Nautilus? It's bold. Playing the ephemeral copy here, just to get something on board and start trying to block things. Chum the Water's not too exciting at this stage. Let's just keep getting these things on the board. Oh my god. We ever get him to just like not attack if we play Kalista? Probably not. That's not so bad. It's hard to tell. We have 4 cards left. It says we have 8 cards left in our deck and 3 on the tracker, so I'm not quite sure where we stand in that sense, but let's see if we can't pull something off here. Where are the hired guns? We can definitely get our Kalista to flip this turn. Horsemen, okay. But our attack's not that great. A little unfortunate. Are we just dead next turn? is that how this is gonna go? I think we're probably just dead here. That's all we can do. Seven cards. How do we have 7 cards left? That's so strange. But all right. All right. So that was a bit awkward. We took our shot, but we missed on the Sea Monster pickup, and I think that was kind of the end of it. His board was just too much bigger than ours. Okay, all right. Well, we can't pass on the Abyssal Eye. We have to be picking up these Sea Monsters. Our count is definitely way too low. Oof. All right, that was a neat little game with Akashan. He seems reasonable. I kind of look at him as like, you know, there's a 2/2 quick attack for 2, which is a good deal. He generates that card, which is just upside. So you've got a 2/2 quick attack for 2 with upside. And then he plays into a lot of the various Sharma combos. So maybe you play him and activate your Shaped Stone. Maybe you play him and have you know, things like Merciless Hunter in your deck. It's just very easy to find additional synergies with him. All right, let's see what we can do here. There's now 4 card pools in the game that have Riven in it, so she should be reasonably common these days. She's paired up with she's in the Akashan pool, I do believe. And I think the other dude is paired up with the likes of Shyvana. Could be wrong on that. I'd have to go check the patch notes, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. And just trying to be a little clever with our units here and what we're putting on the board. I don't want to invest too heavily into what he's doing when he just has this Glory Seeker here, but taking a 3 hit's not a big deal. And if we get a hired gun onto the Glory Seeker next turn, that'd be nice. Got it. Okay, so I think we probably need to be hanging on to our beast below for just a little bit. Gosh. My cat has figured out that she can jump up onto the desk. She's dumb and she's not graceful, and so I have many worries about this, but she's here. But, and I guess this is fine. When we have Lure of the Depths with the 2 Sea Monsters already in our hand, we can pull off a reasonable amount here. I don't know if we actually have any left in our deck, though. We just have that 1 Sea Monster, right? We physically draw the Abyssal Eye. We hit this with the Jaw Hunters, right? I'm sorry, you're not a dumb kitty. You're just... It's this one, see? Here she is. Say what up. Oh, this is a big hit. No, she's a little sweetheart. She's the nicest kitty ever. But does unfortunately seem to be lacking in intelligence. But yeah, whenever you're rolling your D&D character for life, you gotta you gotta put your 5s and 6s somewheres and your 18s and 19s somewhere else. So okay, so again, I don't want to get like too invested in this turn. Let's just hired gun. Idea here being is he's probably gonna like stun something. He's gonna attack. He didn't play any units last turn, so I doubt there's any units coming down this turn. Like this is fine to trade the Jaw Hunters for the Thorn of the Rose. And now we're in a pretty decent spot to just drop a bunch of. Why? Why would you give this bonus attack? Overwhelm? Gives a quick attack. Okay. It's not playing Darius, so okay, sure. The Sea Scarab will get an Abyssal Eye down. Can technically get this Abyssal Eye deep. So that seems pretty good. Did the mathematics on that one. It does seem good. Have to go, oh no, my unit. My unit is gone. Cool, we just have to be like super far ahead now. We have the double grasp to just kind of deal with any units and gain some health in the process, or just throwing down 2 Sea Monsters this turn for a ton of stats. This one's probably pretty close to Dunsies. Start with the beast, so if we want to play a grasp, can. Okay, we'll just let him grasp something. Let him get a hook on something here and take it down. I was hoping he might play a 1-mana combat trick or something. I mean, if he's dropping those quick attacks, then who knows? And with this board, we might get a lethal this turn. We can... Okay, just surrender. I was going to say, we can technically Mask Mother like the beast below, give it Fearsome, and then so if he plays a big unit here, we could hook the big unit and then get our Fearsome through for damage. Didn't think it was going to matter, but it's something, right? It's important to have those somethings. It'd be cool to have Atrocity in here as well. That was the one, a little something I was hoping we'd have. But here, this is fine. We're just going to keep stacking Nautilus. Shipwreck Order is, of course, a Sea Monster, along with a Toss card, and so not a bad set of pickups. Hey, off to the races now. I'd like to, kind of clean up some of the numbers in here. I do like having multiple Abyssal Eyes. I like to have multiple Beast from Belows. Would, of course, love to find the Flame Tongue Kavu, whatever that sea monster is called that eats opposing units, but we're in a pretty good spot. And then, of course, I'd slightly mentioned Atrocity. Atrocity is a card I'd love to have in this deck. Just throwing 13 damage Nautiluses to face is pretty powerful, but they took it out of a lot of card pools. It only exists in like 1 or 2 card pools now, and so I'm not expecting to be able to find one of those. Let's see what we can do here. Got the big shutdown on Akashan with all the hired guns, but that was apparently not the case in the first game, and so let's slow down our excitement just a little bit here. Let's see if we just get him. Pass it. He's an Echo emote. And see if he plays his Akashan so we can hired gun after. Otherwise, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of value in just throwing these down right now. Happy enough to come pick on Zillion. And I am kind of interested if we can ever really like piece the deck together. I really like Zillion with Golden Ambassadors, and assume I'd really also like Akshan with Golden Ambassador. It's just such a strong play to put the Ambassador down on 3 and then play a 3/6 Zillion on 5, or play a... this is going to turn out slightly awkward, but we can still like Jal Hunters away onto Zillion and then Scribe. But no, like... We don't need to do that. Don't have any other plays to make. Okay, fine. But no, like playing the 3/6 Zillion on 5 is really good, especially when you can follow him up with like Merciless Hunter. Same thing with Akshan, playing the 4/4 overwhelm or the 4/4 quick attack. A pretty good deal. All right. Well, let's Stalking Shadows. Don't want to lose out on all our manas. Come down eventually. Right. Bring in all the landmarks. The 2 Preservariums, the Emperor's Diaz. There's no units to go along with it. Got this sunk cost ready to just ace a landmark, am I right? Is that the one that we'd like to sunk cost? Okay. I imagine he's not going to follow this up with units, since we'll just throw everything in front of his units now that he's played Time Bomb, but it's reasonably okay. Like, all right, I'm gonna block. what are you doing, man? Okay, pretty far away from deep, but let's start with the Scribe. Didn't hit Jal Hunters, but it's okay. It's still a good pickup in the hired gun. As far as these cards go, I'm not really excited about any of this. Let's see what we hit. Or Nautilus, okay. Right. Not bad. We're about to get our Abyssal Eyes really going here. Five away from deep. Okay, well, you got 10 mana. Let's just go ahead and play our other Abyssal Eye, and then see if we can't manage our way into a good Grasp of the Undying or something this turn. This goes. He's going to play the Lucky Find somewhere. Spell Shield? Okay. That's the kind of thing we were waiting on. Okay, how are we feeling about this? We can't get deep, so it's going to be a next turn kind of thing. So I think let's just start with Hired Gun. Actually, I guess we have to roll the dice here. Okay, hit this one. I was like, we could technically like chum the waters, the Clockling, but then he's just going to have the opportunity to let's take down the big boy. But then he's going to have the opportunity to just play a bigger unit that we would guaranteed miss. So I thought it was good to roll the dice onto this guy. Snap that one off. 3. Okay. Get in for this big old chunk of damage. That's almost lethal. at 17. So we'll be deep on our next turn. We're just gonna block this stuff so we don't die. As long as we're getting deep, things will be okay. We actually want to save a Grasp of the Undying here. I could get behind that. Let's do this. So I'm gonna block your clock hand. That's what's about to happen here. this dude's about to go down. Okay. Check that animation for the first time. Looks like Assassin's Creed. Is that what his name is? Does this predict? Gives everything +1 attack, okay. Here. Doing stuff. Countdowns are being reduced, things are happening. Is he going to get the Warlord's Horde this turn? Does not appear to be the case. He does have Overwhelm, which is kind of annoying, but otherwise, I don't quite care about what's going on here. Let's just skip on Grasp the Undying. We can follow up with Nautilus. We should just be pretty close to lethal next turn. If we're gonna have the 12 out of the 2 Abyssal Eyes, so. All right. I didn't take the time to read what those cards did. I did check them out in our set review, but it feels like something that we do not want this guy playing. And so let's just go ahead and throw down. That's a good hook. Okay, things are happening. Playing spells and stuff. GG. So that was cool, right? That's I liked what dude was working with there. You know, it was a bit awkward in the early game for him as far as playing the random landmarks and stuff goes, but you know, the clock hand was really nice here. Had some landmark synergies. He was able to get the dude going, and so oh no, I liked what brother had going on there. But with these, extremely happy to get rid of Vaults of Helya. Lost Riches, of course, plays fantastically in a Sea Monsters deck, and there are billions of ways to get Lost Riches now, and so being in a deck that can actually produce deep gives you some value with these things. You know, they're added all around mainly for predicts, and so you want to Lost Riches and then predict a Lost Rich to the top, then good job. But we're doing it the classic way. Probably got to do something like this. I do worry a touch about Rivens. We don't have a lot of ways to deal with a Riven sword. So if he goes all in on a sword, we have a bit of trouble with that. But otherwise, I think we're okay. Glad at least since we didn't get to play Akshan, that we at least got to play against him a few times. So you all get to see some of the new cards. Oh, we hit a Jettison. That's always huge when you coral creatures into Jettison with the deep deck. So that was pretty cool in my opinion. My opinion's all that matters, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Alright, so we lost Sea Scarab, but picked up the beast below. So what do we want to do here? I'm kind of leaning towards getting a Chum the Waters going on Akshan. Now that we've seen burst +2/+1 a handful of times, we know that we want to send 3 attack into this dude. And so I'm kind of envisioning that we're going to add Stirred Spirits, boost the spirits with the support into Akshan, and then hopefully get a good attack with everything else. That's the old idea Ruski here. On away from deep. Getting kind of close. Really want to level up the Warlord's Palace? You gotta have another card to get these level ups. Okay. Alright, Deuterino, you've made a big unit. Is he just gonna have a dude next turn? It'd be flipped now, right? Yeah, the picture's over to flipped. Okay. Predict and draw one, you got it. I think we're in a pretty decent spot here. I don't know why I went so ham onto this thing, but that's some damages. Let's get our thing going here. We've got the sea monster. We can pass into next turn. We can't jettison up to this. We're going to be one short of round starting that thing, but we can get it next turn. So we want to add though. I think so. Double grasp and jaw hunters. Alright, if he's adding that, we're just going to have to add the beast below. We can be a little bit bigger than him. Sure. He's tapped out. Let's see if he wants to go for it. Alright. It does just a bunch of stuff I do not want. So, nice little cycle to get that trash out of here. Cool, seems good. We're about to hit the rando sea monster now. We got a shipwreck hoarder if we want to get this stuff going. Looking strong. Dead Blue Wanderer out. Shipwreck stuff in. You can shuffle in more with this one. With the Chronicle of Ruin onto this guy. Okay, the create 5 random cards, they cost 0 and fleeting. Do that in short order. Okay. I got a bunch of stats now, my man. Okay. No complaints there. Keelbreaker. Don't think we need to be doing that. So we can do this. We can Treasure Trove and Chronicler of Ruin if we want. Let's see what we pick up with this thing though. We get these dope animations. What do we got? Larnt Cavalier, Noxen Fervor, Devoted Council, Spiral Stairs, and Flurry of Fists. So the Flurry of Fists is moderately interesting when we have the Beast below and stuff on this board, but let's just start with this. A lot of these are actual turds. I think we'll play the Cavalier. We can play the Devoted Council and then hit it with a Noxen Fervor later. I think that's going to be our strategy with that one. The thing is he just dead? Feels like he's given up here. Let's at least do this right. Do it like this. He's going to want to get the block onto the beast below, so we'll put him down here further on the right. Right, so just I don't know where our damage is at, but we can click on the. Oh god, we got we got a ways to go. Got to do 10. You're doing 10. I did the mathematics on that one. But we can give Cavalier Fists of Fury. We can Nox and Fervor something down here a little bit later. Well, we're gonna just lose our Cavalier, but might as well get his unit off the board, I guess. So we'll Nox and Fervor. Then I'm gonna well, I might as well just overwrite something that's gonna die, right? So let's overwrite the Spiral Stairs. We shouldn't have fervored the Devoted Council. Come to think of it, if we were just gonna lose a unit, we might as well keep the dude around. I think we're okay. Spiral State. What a horrible card. What else is there to say about Spiral Stairs? Okay, this is going to ace our board, but he can't really follow up with anything here, and we can get 2 units on the board. Technically got a lethal out of the Kalista Boxtopus, but I think we're so far ahead that we'll want to keep playing units. There we go. That's a way to do it. Got him. All right, cool. 1 G followed by a second one. G on the G, my friend. So let's see. What we got next. Nautilus number 3. That works. I'd prefer this Abyssal Light package down here on the right, but looking good. We got all the tools one would need to get to the end. Say what up to the lurkers. So this is a fairly straightforward one. We'll get rid of Nautilus, hang on to our early plays. The hired guns tend to be pretty strong against the lurk decks, and so if they start off with like a turn 1 lurker, we should be able to value attack it on the second turn. He doesn't play one. I'm kind of tempted to not play Dreg Dredgers here, but we'll see. Right, because I kind of wanted to go into the next turn being able to hired gun, but works for me. And so the idea with that was, like, say he doesn't have the 1, and then he plays the Hammer Snout on the second turn. We kind of want the ability to spike that unit with a hired gun, and it's very clear shenanigans are up if we just pass with Dreg Dredgers on the board, and so that'd be something to consider. Okay, just gonna pass this one with the intent of hitting Misfortune with the Grasp of the Undying next turn. Yeah, I guess we got a couple turns before it's particularly relevant. Can still do it next turn if we Crawling Sensation. Okay. Here if he ever blocks here. Say no, right? Has to feel like shenanigans are afoot with an attack like this, but we have to deal with Misfortune. She's way more important than ever trying to deal with a Pike or a Rek'Sai or any of the other units in this deck. Okay. All the Hammer Snouts, you got it. deal with all this stuff next turn. Want to play the gun? I don't think so. Let's bank. We're gonna want to get the Lost Riches going here. Want to give him a chance to add a unit to the board as well. Right, because the idea with this hand is I want to Stirred Spirits the Spiderling into the Preservationist, and then see what we can do from there. Pike is sort of annoying. Must be nice. Did he even predict this game? He just naturally hit that Pike? Ugh. Must be nice.
Who's on top of the bounty board today? Time to make some coin.
Do it like this in case he has a Make It Rain. Protect the Spiderling hook. Okay, seems great. Cat hair in my face. But, you know, our board is stable. Our health is high. Our top end is better than his top end. And so the longer this drags on, the stronger I have to think we are.
Make it worth my while.
Out here naturally hitting every lurk on the planet. Okay, I think I could go for the Shipwreck Hoarders. I guess we're gonna get 2 cards out of this either way. Let's actually pick up the Jaw Hunters here. His units are, tend to be tiny, and we're gonna get some plays out of this.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage. Now we can finish what was begun.
Okay. I'm content. I don't really want to be shuffling cards in our deck when we're short of deep, right? We kind of rather shuffle them in post deep.
Blood and guts, golden glory. The void took from me. Now I'll take from it.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and add Chum the Waters. I still think, we're fully intent on just hooking this Kahiri with the Jaw Hunters. Maybe we do get rid of Longtooth here. I think that's safe. Yeah, we can just full clear his board. Sure. I'm on board with that. We got the big boys in hand. We're pretty close to this one just being done. Turns from deep. Okay. Zero turns from deep. Got him. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? I don't really want to trade away Stirred Spirits. Have something to do in the early game. It works well with the hired guns and stuff, so that's fine. Keeping our 1 sunk cost. Down here, I don't feel like we really need Glimpse Beyonds in this deck. We don't have any trouble with value, so Mask Mother's not great, but it's at least another early game play. Okay. Battles begin. Akshan Part 2. More Riven's copy. Let's get rid of these Lure of the Depths. Hang on to the Slaughter Docks. That should be a reasonable start. Maybe we get to try and make this play on the second turn again where we just pass and maybe he plays his Akshan and we can hit it with hired gun. Could have held in the auto pass button.
Don't stand in my way.
Let's see, what to do here? Only on 3. I guess it's fine to just block this thing with this.
Not my first gunfight.
Oh, we lost our Sea Scarab. Aristocrat's a good pickup. I was hoping we could do like a Scribe of Sorrows this turn, but it's not going to hit anything interesting. So let's just continue to go wide. Let the Slaughter Docks do its thing. Try to get our Sea Monsters going.
If it looks valuable, it probably is, eh?
Lady Elise, where are you?
Here come the buffs. You're going to get a quick attack Trifarian. Quick attack Profiteer. I guess that makes a little more sense. Okay. Oh, we hit hired gun. No, I mean, our blocks are exceptionally good here. I was kind of surprised he put the boost onto Profiteer instead of the Trifarian, because being able to throw a 2 attack unit in front of whatever he's doing is not that bad. Alright, we got maximum blockers now. These attacks do not look good with the knowledge that we have Parlay in our hand. Happy enough to come in here and just shut all this down.
Cut you a deal.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, a 2 goes here, 1 goes here, a 3 goes here. A block in front of this thing. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, cool. Yeah, now we can open with Hired Gun to put the vulnerable onto Profiteer. We can make a Stirred Spirits kind of attack into it. See if we find a better play, though. Grasp the Undying is tempting as a better play, but I think that's something better served for our next turn.
I serve a nobler cause.
Start a free attack with something. It's kind of awkward here. We need to do a little bit of work before we start doing our blocks, but I think it's okay. This is just kind of like that previous game, as to where if we're just sitting around trading and he's not getting ahead on board, then that's a super big win for us. Our late game's just going to be so much better than his.
Don't stand against me.
Okay, he's going to get this thing going, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then I don't really want to be shuffling treasures into our deck right now. We're pretty, well, I guess we're not like real close to deep, but I think it's more important to hit deep than get the improved card quality in our deck. What you got? He's going to predict, or is he going to make a charger? Predict? That seems good. I mean, I'm not opposed to just throwing down Nautilus as a blocker. I guess it depends on what opponent does here, but we have the choice between either Nautilus or Grasp and Chum. We have to wait and see. It's okay if he just passes back to us, so let's bank all this mana and see what happens. You got a little more? You got a little something else that's about to happen here? Okay, we'll drop Nautilus. Uh-oh, we chose wrong. Oh, he doesn't play it, though? He's not going to guile us? Oh, wow. I wonder if he has a shape or a Scorched Earth. That's why he didn't guile us. Mind-blowing that he's not trying to slam this damage in, though. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. We're one draw away from deep. We're not going to quite be able to do everything that we want. But let's see if we can't bring this down with some damage to face attached to it. Cool. I mean, I guess maybe we should have just put it on Saboteur and hooked it with the beast below, but... You know, make some noises and stuff. Alright, let's just pass. I think this is one of these spots where if we're just going to be trying to block, then it's going to be easier for him to just completely fill his board than it is for us to fill our board. I mean, he's got to be a little scared that we have a way to go deep. We don't, but... Sting. I don't know what he's just gonna like get us with here. He clearly has a combat trick, but I'm happy enough to just grasp the Undying something. Where do we want to prevent the damage? Nautilus already has damage on him, so I want to take this thing down. The Thorn of the Rose has vulnerable on it already as well. Okay, things are about to rapidly improve. That was a big chunk of damage to have to take there, but we're gonna turn the corner after that one. Still just sitting on that guile though. That blows my mind. He hasn't tried to take advantage of that yet. Chance we just have lethal here, right? If we have 13 from Nautilus plus a Slaughter Docks, might be able to just open on him. Shuts down that plan, but that would have probably done it, right? If we just hook the 2 units with our beast below hired gun, Nautilus comes in for 13, and then we hit on the Slaughter Docks. I'm going to keep adding stuff to the board. Maybe we'll get him to just spend a guile this turn. $17, yeah, that's one short of lethal. Too short, not bad. 19 minus 17 does happen to be 2. So here I'm just kind of thinking about like slamming our beast belows into this stuff. Oh. I have to keep some health for this, but... What do we think of this? Well, alright, I think I've changed my mind. I want to do this, and force him to block here. So he can get out of this with like another combat trick to save his Thorn of the Rose. But I think this is going to be strong enough in general. He probably just got to put the Swarm in front of our Hoarder, take a 7. Then if he has a trick, that's going to be his last card he has access to, and so we seem super far ahead at that point forward. We want to draw the Lost Riches, because I assume that his idea here is to stun our big boy, and then and say maybe we'll hit Keelbreaker. Okay, so if he doesn't open, we can try and Keelbreaker this board. Seems legit. What's this thing do? +1 attack. There's 1 short if we get to use our Hoarder. Let's just get this thing out of here. I guess we could have waited on his guile. I just ultimately worry about him having a combat trick in his hand and taking us down that way.
Greed will turn any man into a monster. I deal in coins and carnage.
So he needs to actually stun our beast below here. Otherwise, we'll kill him with the hired gun. We could get a sandstone charger. That would be kind of scary. Oh, we're just dead, aren't we? Okay, we did that. We did that poorly. I didn't stop to consider the relic of power and him getting a sandstone charger. So we should have waited on him to play a card because he had the guaranteed lethal. But if we saved our keel breaker to take down any other potential units, we could have done it that way. So it's tough. In general, I think I would rather be playing around the combat trick, but I didn't stop to play around that new card. Was our problem there? Okay, let's see. Ooh, here's an upgrade. Most definitely pick up the Sea Scarab for the scribe. Good. All right, let's recover from that. That's always a tough one. Anywho, all right. More actions. Action all the time. Lots of action. Action. Is that what his name is? Riot needs to give me an audio file of how to pronounce all the card names before I get out here and start making videos. Oh. Reasonable start against this stuff. Works for me. Again, I have to assume our late game's better than his, so if we're able to come out here and make some trades, just stall things out, I think that's going to be prime for success. I'll trade Kalista. Excellent. You know, you're out here just planning to trade, and then you just get an extra card out of it. That's pretty sweet. Alright, let's start with the Sea Scarab. We might want to chum the waters this turn. So if we make a trade with chum the waters, we get the extra toss. Otherwise, I'm kind of thinking of just playing Aristocrat, but if he's adding Echo, we'll take it down. Oof, got him. Getting ahead. Slightly and slightly. A header and a header. Six now? Okay. I think I just want to play the Aristocrat here. We're up to 2 Sea Monsters in our hand, so I want to play the Lure of the Depths now. But we gotta see if he's gonna add anything to the board. I guess we don't have a whole lot of choice in the matter as to what we get to do here. So, oh, I meant to pull that one back. I was gonna play it post-combat, but got away from me.
We're going in. Get me out of here.
See ya, Slaughter Ducks. All kinds of stats on board now. We're pretty far away from deep, though. Don't feel like we super need to draw cards. Maybe we just go with the Shipwreck Order. That is the means to get deep, you know, a little bit closer. If you have 17 cards and you play this, you toss 2, hit deep, and then shuffle the stuff in. But I think it's okay just getting the big dude on the board at this point. Okay. 2 cards.
I don't need rules to know good from bad.
I think we're good to just take 4 here. I want to try to turbocharge this getting deep. Ooh, no attack. Beautiful, beautiful. We've been getting pretty lucky with that.
Fixing the world one scoundrel at a time.
Okay. So you got your grappling hooks and stuff. I think that's okay. Two. Add Pull Shark. So next turn we're going to go to 17. Then we can shake down our Pull Shark to hit deep. Got all the plans. Riches, Jaw Hunters. Okay. It's Beast below. Yeah. How much more do we want to get going here? I mean, if we don't play the Jaw Hunters, then we get to play out the Lost Riches without losing it. Seems reasonable. Probably don't want to lose it. See a Sunk Cost, see a Lure of the Depths. Alright, now let's make these combats happen. So something like this. Say he's going to have like some amount of cards, but I wanted to put the most damage we could onto Akshan, and then probably just going to be playing Lost Riches here so that we get to try and pick up some of those cards off of the level ups. Oh, we're not shuffling, are we? We're just picking up Keel Breakers. But that was the idea. I thought we were going to be shuffling in Lost Riches, and so I wanted to give ourselves the opportunity to hit them off of the tosses. But, like, reasonable spot to be in.
Don't want to die? Don't do terrible things.
Load him up with the Lucky Founds. Oh man, he's gonna be getting the Warlord's Horde this turn. Next turn? This turn? He's gonna get probably next turn. Didn't realize he picked up these crystals either. Man, I gotta watch out on their hand. So we pick Spell Shield, or so our Kill Breaker's no good, and Tough. It's gonna add a blocker. Okay, so he can get his biggest unit and give all of our stuff vulnerable. He can draw 2, make his cards cheaper, or give his champions everywhere Spell Shield and 2/2. To see what his big plan is here. Let's just keep passing. I'm not ultra worried about this combat here. Like, at what point are we gonna just drop Keelbreaker? Seems reasonable. Alright, I guess we're just out here playing units. Everybody's on the just play some units plan. Okay, so he's got these Hexite crystals. Play him at fast speed, he's going to AoE everything we have for 4. So we definitely want to come in and block everything. And then I'm just going to put the most damage I can, or the most health I can in front of that guy. So, again, I assume all of our units are going to go to these crystals. Interesting, he didn't try to get any overwhelm damage. Maybe he wanted to strike onto our Stirred Spirits, but we have this backup Abyssal Eye that we're going to try to open kill with. I assume he lined this up as a means. He has something for this Abyssal Eye, right? Is he going to have a Nox and Guillotine? He can't stop our attack with a Guillotine. He can only kill one of these and the other one will get through. Drawing all the treasures. Oh no! Oh, okay. Well, we were gonna lose our units anyways here, but that's what the deal was. Okay. I gotcha. I see what the plan was there. We can do this. We might play Killbreaker just for shits and giggles, but man, we hit the Devourer of the Depths, so we can actually. Right, this needs. You have less health than me. That's going to take this thing to 5. Then this. Okay, we can do this. Here we go. We're going to Devourer of the Depths here. Oh no, we shouldn't do it that way, right? We should just do it like this. This will pop his spell shield. Okay. I see it. I'll just add Mountain Goat so we have a blocker. Then I'm going to hang on. Oh, there's no reason to hang on to these. Right? They're fleeting. They're just going to go away.
There's always a way out.
Okay. Now if we can just avoid death next turn, we have the 2 elusives to hopefully close this game out. Oof. Oof. That's another way to do it.
I always catch my prey.
There you have it. All right. Glad we got ourselves out of that one. Let's see. Sometimes you just shuffle that treasure right on top. Okay, here. Like I'm kind of fine to get rid of Stalking Shadows. I don't want to trade out Coral Creatures. Stalking Shadows is not a card we really need, and this is a removal spell in the Aether's Fiend, although it is a little expensive. Maybe we just get rid of the Glimpse Beyond for a scrap shot, since that's a cheaper removal spell that also has Toss attached to it. That seems a little better. Okay, pre-final battle. Feeling good. Destroying all these Akshan decks today. Not here. More P and Z, no Akshan, but let's see what we can do. We would have a really tough time beating a... Get rid of that. We just want to get our cycle and our early game plays. Maybe keep Lure of the Depths, but I'm not real intent on that. But yeah, we've been talking a lot about like the Sumpworks Dredger deck or whatever he's called, and Echo would be, or the Dredger deck would be like impossible for us to beat. There's just, I guess we could get like lucky hired guns or something, but I can't imagine we'd ever beat that Sumpworks posse. And then here, this is kind of the play I was talking about before, whatever, like 2 turns ago or 2 games ago when we ran into this stuff, is to where maybe we shouldn't have played the Dredgers on 1, so on 2 we can, you know, reliably pass and then try to hired gun whatever he's played. But I was busy chit chatting and stuff, and so I didn't quite get it down.
I've been practicing, and it's not perfect.
This is fine. We can throw damage onto the Chronomancer and then try and take it down next turn with the hired gun. Seems like a reasonable usage of a hired gun. And just want to start churning through this stuff. We got our Slaughter Docks down. We can spend 1 Lure of the Depths this turn.
I deal in coins and carnage. Arda's gonna make a meal of 'em.
Don't make a meal of me, Varg. still think we're looking good. We're pretty close to deep now between the slaughter docks, being able to throw down the Wanderer, drawing a card with a lure. We're about to get these big boys rolling out here. Sump Worker we have no answer to. I think we just got to go all in on the deep here. Let's throw down the Wanderer. We'll draw a card this turn. Pretty close. Yep. Do anything about that?
Son of a...
No Abyssal Eye either. Okay. just seeing all our removal spells go away. But I want to lead with the Beast Below. I'm hoping that we can just come in and Jal Hunters this Sumpworks posse. Good chance that, I mean, if he plays another Time Bomb or something, then what can we do? But that was our shot to take this guy down. Oh. All of our grasps are gone.
This one's a fighter.
Okay. Surprised he's keeping Zillion around. Like, what are you ever going to do with Zillion? I guess he's about to flip, but
Off to them.
seems a little odd. Then we talked about this sort of extensively in the previous one, as to where you got to see what kind of attacks he's able to get, because we tend to just have a ton of free blockers now, right? But he's never hitting on the ground. But as far as these posses go, like the AoE tends to just kill off all of our own units, and then our own units can hopefully come in and just block all of his other stuff. Oh, there it is. Like, are you really gonna have a suit up? Ugh. Oh man, he snapped that one off. That can't be good. Okay. Digging for it. Of course. I guess he already had it. It cost 4 mana. Okay. Kind of is what it is. Where are we going to be at next turn? I think we can just wait to Stalking Shadows. Assuredly, we're just going to play Nautilus and then try to play some 1-mana Shipwreck Orders, but ooh, there's the sauce. Get a pretty full board here. What do we got? We got 10 cards left. I don't know how much of that's going to be Sea Monsters. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. Our deck tracker doesn't list any, but
That's new.
I have to wait and see. So let's start off with this and see if we hit something cool. Did not. Can do some stuff with Mask Mother. Okay. Does have a suit up, but I don't think it's quite relevant here. I guess he can like suit up as Xenotype researchers and take down a Beast Below or something, but as it stands, he's got to block everything here.
That's not tamper-proof.
Just a moment.
Draw a card. That's pretty cool. Had to double check he wasn't just letting us draw a card because we're going to kill ourselves, but cool, looking good. Nautiluses give us Riptide as well, which we can stun away whatever he plays. Okay. I don't think we're going to be treasure troving this turn. Just we can shuffle his units to the bottom of his deck. Then more power to us. And it's not going to let him do anything. Not going to risk him hitting a good ability or something. I don't think it ever really matters there, but. Okay, so let's get ourselves ready for this final battle. I don't want to trade out our early game plays. I mean, I can't bring myself to trade out the sunk cost. I want to hang on to our one removal spell. So I think that's okay. Could pick up a Vengeance down here, but the Sea Scarabs are just way too important to pick up. It's just a super easy way to hit deep really fast. But this is a Vengeance I can get behind. I do like the Coral Creatures. He's a reasonable dude, but I just want to streamline our deck here with the good removal. We can get rid of sunk cost now if it's an option, but probably won't be a thing. Here, Jal Hunters, again, reasonable pickup. We still have 3 hired guns after this trade, and so we still have a lot of that early game interactivity. And our last one, I'm going to pick up the Bark Beast here just to get rid of the sunk cost now. We don't typically want Ruinations in this style of deck, and it's kind of dangerous when we only have one Abyssal Eye, but I think our Sea Monster package is good enough without this. So, ready for it. Hey, final battle. Let's see. Maybe we're running Divigio this time instead of just 6 or 7 actions in a row. Water. It can't be good when we're playing the deep deck. I'm not pushing the button. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out. Just be dehydrated for you all. Please. Okay, let's see. It's found in the set Vigio. Curious. I mean, the Dragon's deck from Vigio seems reasonable. Like the new cards are fine. The 3/2 dragon for 2 mana seems good. The 4/3 one, for 4 mana, it seems worse than the one that already exists, but fine. Just I haven't quite seen what combos you're supposed to be doing with the kind of gain some life and lose some life vampire kind of theme, and I haven't seen just where all the interactions lie. We need a opponent to drop him out here on us so that we can get a taste of what he's capable of. Get all the little ephemerals going. Uh-oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to hover over the cancel button here. I don't want to be playing against the Poro bot today, so let's see. We'll let it get up to, let's say, 57. All right, there we go. There we go. Opponent has been found. Action. Lee Sen Zed. Good choice. Quite sure what we're going to be getting into here, but I could see the Akshan things working quite well with Lee Sen, but it's odd with just the one copy here. So, probably have to hang on to Grasp of the Undying. I'd rather not do it, but if he plays a Zed, we just kind of lose the game, and so it's just kind of one of those unfortunate things we have to be ready to handle here. And with this hand, I'm just going to skip on the Bark Beast. We're reasonable to just get banked up in the next turn. So we'll see if he plays a dude and we just get the we get the hired gunplay here. I've loved how we've had the tools to just make this work every time. All right, not a bad start. Okay, the magic's starting to come down here. So we make this work. We're definitely playing Bark Beast and the Sea Scarab. I think we just have to take the damage this turn, though.
Swipe it all.
Go. Perfect draw. Ooh, and we hit the Devourer. Must be nice. Those of you saying must be nice definitely is. Those of y'all saying bust so lucky. Nah, it's all skill, my man. It's all skill. So, I mean, we can put damage on this thing and then still throw Bark Beast in. Like, I'm not opposed to doing this. Doesn't seem super good, but I just want to get these get these things rolling. Tossed our single abyssal eye away. But so I mean, we're gonna have to play Nautilus to get a hold of them. It's not that bad, but it's a thing to take note of. And now he wants to open on us. I'm fine with just trading R2 units for his and hanging out the Sea Scarab on the board. This looks beautiful for me. I assume that we're gonna get some kind of shenanigans from combat tricks, but if at the end of this turn it's like we get these blocks in, he plays some combat tricks, doesn't add any more units, and then we get to lure the depths twice. That seems pretty strong. Less ideal, but should flip these around. Get a additional toss this way. We could protect our Sea Scarab, but I don't think he's like ultimately that important. Reasonably likely to just pick some up with Lure of the Depths as well. Let's lure before we toss. Getting close. Got a 3-piece nugget toss here in the Dead Bloom Wanderer, so that takes us to 21. Beat a 20 after our card draw next turn. Getting pretty close to the toss. Down to 18. Full Shark will take us to 16 next turn, so be one card away from hitting toss, or the Sea Scarab is pretty close to getting us there as well.
Shall we dance, Lee?
I'll follow your lead. Where do you stand on cold shots?
Good to pass here. I do want to try and take down this Lee Sin with the Devourer, but we need to hit deep first. Definitely. Oh, this is so huge if we can hit deep this turn. I don't really want to let this Nautilus go, but if he comes in and kills one unit and we get to hit deep, play Nautilus, and then play Devourer and the Beast Below for free, oh, so money. So money. I can't imagine he just passes this turn without attacking, though, right? I was right.
You know real value when you see it, my friend.
I do want to protect our Nautilus, so let's give him a chance to sit around and do stuff. Got the Relics of Power and the Lucky Finds and stuff. This is all okay. This attack is not scary. His Lee Sin is not going to flip this turn. I think this all looks pretty good.
Prepare yourself.
Within my
This is, I don't know if he's paying attention here, but the Sea Scarab's going to flip. He needs to move some of this around. Okay. Right, here comes the thunder. Drop the Devourer. Things are looking good here. You better be hitting Spell Shield, my man. Tough. You can still technically combat trick out of this as well, but if this is successful, it's huge. Even if it's not successful, we're still so close to just ending this next turn. It's lethal. With this open, if he blocks our 13, he's taking 14, 15, 16, 17. Apparently so. Hey, let's take a look. Oh, didn't mean to click on the rewards. Don't look at the rewards. We gotta we gotta pull the deck up real quick on LOR Guardian. Here we go. And so yeah, I mean this is a pretty standard Sea Monsters deck. Kind of the big things to call out with this as far as the 2.11 patch goes. As we could kind of see, we didn't end up with an atrocity. That's been, I can't remember where it still lives. It's still out there somewhere, but atrocity much harder to come by. So we don't get this thing where we can just atrocity off a Nautilus for 13 to face. Kind of the other things are they they strengthened up the Nautilus card pool. They took out Bayou Brunch and some of the other just completely horrible cards. So he should be a little bit stronger. You could still see in this trial there's a bit of a a high roll aspect to it. We essentially just took every sea monster that we saw and through most of the draft, like what did we have? We had like one Sea Scarab, the Slaughter Docks, and then we picked up some Jaw Hunters. But it feels like, I mean, at the end of the draft, we were still pretty light uh, on sea monsters, and it wasn't down here till we got into the trades and the further picks where we got the Abyssal Eye, Shipwreck Hoarder, Sea Scarab, Jaw Hunters. Like we picked up a lot of this as the trade picks and stuff came about. And so you can, run into that issue with Nautilus. But, when it comes to just drafting this deck itself, again, you're looking to hit deep as quick as you can. The ideal way to do that is with Dreg Dredgers and Pool Sharks. You're just going to be out here trying to drop as many early game plays as you can to stall the board and then hit deep as quickly as possible. Once we hit deep, you could see how kind of academic those games were. You just get so much stats on the board so easily. So that's the kind of the way we like to tier these off. Is Dreg Dredgers is kind of the number one dude you're looking for. He just makes it so easy to hit the tosses. After that, we're just looking for anything that says Sea Monster on it. And then once we get beyond those, if it says, card draw or toss on it, it's probably top notch. You need to pick up one Vengeance if you can. And then otherwise, just try to keep this curve low. The deck does tend to run into some issues with getting its hand clogged up. And so usually if you just keep your curve really low, it looks pretty good. So yeah, this was good. I thought it was kind of interesting. You could see how scary it was playing against like the Sump Worker deck. That we just don't have any ways to interact with that. If we'd been playing against the Green Glade Duo deck, would have kind of a similar problem. Just these really aggressive decks where we can't interact with what they're doing. This deck doesn't handle that too well, and so we've been kind of talking about the potential rock paper scissorsness to come out of this format, to where there's the Sumpworks decks that prey upon the decks like this that don't have the ways to interact. The decks like this prey on the decks that can interact. We don't really care if our opponent's challenging our bigger units, and then the decks, the challengers are able to take down the non-interactive Sumpworker deck. And so we might have gotten like a touch lucky in there as far as that Sumpworker deck matchup and the Green Glade Duo matchup, but no match is 100-0, and so you can take some of them down. But otherwise, yeah, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. Not too much new going on here. It was good that we got to see like 3 or 4 or 5 different Akshan decks, even though we weren't getting to play them ourselves. Maybe we'll get the chance to here in the next couple days or so. All right, there was that reward. We have dove in on the old event pass, and so we'll save that for last. We'll roll over to that thing and see what we pick up. And so, we got a Savage Reckoner. We always take the unit. If we can't get the unit, we take the spell. Yeah, that's your two options. You take the unit or the spell, and we take the unit. Here in this one, nice little set of assembly bots. Cool. Some upgrades that we see kind of commonly in Expedition. Nice to get those rares boosted. Okay, so the old event pass. Of course, we took the Sentinel side because we know what we're about. Welcome to the squad. That's not a bad little legend. It's not a cat, but I mean, it's got some panache to it. And then our first old Akshan, and so not a bad little set. I had fun with this one, and so hope you all enjoyed it as well. You maybe learned how to swim just a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.